Celebrate the festive season with incredible savings at OK Furniture. Get a wide range of appliances, furniture, and bedroom essentials available in store and online. Browse our catalog and find your favorites to make Christmas unforgettable. Don't miss out, these deals are valid until the 8th of December 2024. While stock lasts, T's and C's apply. iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiskiTimes.co.za. It's quite an anticlimactic end to the game. It's a big continental fixture with Orlando Pirates and Ahly. It ended 0-0 at the Orlando Stadium. But yeah, it ended 0-0, so it's very disappointing. Please don't forget to follow us on all these platforms, WhatsApp, on Facebook, and subscribe to us as well. The link is in the description. Orlando Pirates 0, Ahly 0, continental fixture, but it's 0-0. It's a second game in the group stages. Lindo, how did you see the game, sir?
Yeah, sharp kunjani Mr. Nkewu?
Yes, sir.
Ngibulise uDrizzy, ngibulise awuthiyama ukhohlwa, ngibulise the legendary Tsovilakazi.
Yes, sir.
Nobobo Mncithi. Kuleka athi siphule kancane lento sistriphele kari.
Well, you're going to give it credibility with your theories. Otherwise, any game that ends as 0-0 is shit. Basically, someone should say, we paid our money, we sat for 2 hours, it was shit.
Yeah.
But with you, you're going to give it some credibility by giving a theory that it doesn't deserve. But have a go.
One of my responsibilities is to give a picture to the game to the people.
If it's 0-0, trust me, this video is not going to get more than 30,000 people watching.
Okay,
I promise you.
Yeah,
have a go.
It was a obviously, each team is playing their second game. For me, I just want to give credit to Michael Collar, more especially with how Ahly is, because we've been watching this team for so many years. We know that they're a diagonal dodge team that plays on the second ball, first ball. Normally, it's a counter-attacking team. We've always watched them. They always reserve. It's very difficult for them to play at South Africa. I think you told me a stat. I think it's 11 games. I think
13 matches. So they draw and they either draw or lose. So it's 14 matches now, and they've drawn. So they lose maybe 8 and then draw 8, something like that. So they don't win when they come to South Africa if you play them at 3 p.m.
We know among North Africans, they're very technical players, but I'm very impressed in terms of how ball rotation, how they rotate the ball, how they keep the ball. Yes, center. You always find them that they control the game, more especially in the progressive line, and then a diagonal dodge to a winger. You saw they have a tall striker. That's their game model. Their game model then never ever changes. What changes maybe is the personnel. If you are checking in the first half, they had a winger that crossed from deep because they had a striker. In the second half, Baletu Upesi, Baletu Ashaf. Ashaf is what? I'm a dribbling wizard. They want the ball on the feet. But Funuk minus I'm a fullback, but dribble and isolate and create opportunities, more especially in the goal mouth. But credit to Ahly, why in Kulego? They know these guys how to defend their goal mouth. They made sure good 1v1 Gumakaula no Mbata. They did not allow those two players to play. Urile Fandak lost the ball easy, more especially in the first half. Umfana Bebambegi Sanda Jekpela, Bamkaido off the ball. You can see, but I'm happy when Roger Rivera already played him for 90 minutes in his original position because I feel that the boy is going to be an incredible number 10. Roger Rivera made 3 changes into his team. He brings in Utino van Rooyen on the right, obviously. He brings in Umfukeng as a number 10, but allows Uhoto to go on the wing so that Umako comes in as a left back. In my opinion, that did well. Even though being a threat, obviously from Ahly, you're looking at a player like Abu Sbisi, no Sesana as well. I think they played very well in terms of dealing.
Saleng was also a new introduction.
Saleng as well was a new introduction in udlalenga pitches nkule. Uyabonakala ukuthi match fitness yamshayo umfana. For me, decision making let him down, but there were certain things, moments in the game where bekafuna ukuvela with that shot outside the box. Le alithathile goalkeeper. You understand nkule with the one that he got. He's always dangerous. Saleng. This is the thing with Saleng. Maybe angeke akuncede in terms of the process of football, but what he might help you is his danger. He always looks dangerous, more especially when he has the ball in the final third or Orlando Pirates might attack. He's dangerous with his shots outside the box. He's dangerous with the run behind because the third man run is the most dangerous run in football. But for me, in my opinion, Orlando Pirates, angeke ivideo iphele nkulonga ka mention until iziyenzeke. They need a general in midfield. Uyabona nama substitute abenza, they bring in a team. Team comes in and plays the very same diagonal dodge edlala uSesana. Understand nkuleko? Ile Orlando Pirates baphethe ibhola from deep. Abo Sesana responsibility yabo ukufeed amabhola kubo Saleng. I'm expecting abo Makhawula ukuthi bayeza bazodlala. Abo Mbatha, the very same Mbatha. Mbatha, the boy needs to understand nkuleko that yes, he has won the contract with Orlando Pirates, but now he needs consistency, more especially as a 8 nkuleko. He needs to understand that he needs to be available. Like ukuzifihla. You understand? Umakhopa, in my opinion as well, moves too much. In North Africa, they are used to dealing with a striker like Umakhopa. Even better, Magapuma outside the box. You understand? For me, that's why they didn't look dangerous. They needed a box striker, but also the importance of Futito, someone who's arrogant on the ball. For me, I just felt like if Orlando Pirates didn't dominate his group, and for me, in any football team, whether big or not, you need a very strong midfield. And when I'm looking at that midfield, in my opinion, I have said this, a good team, Orlando Pirates, a team that's very dangerous with good ball-playing centre-backs and an attack. But in midfield, for me, ila weakness yabi corner. Because Nkulego, for me, when it gaming akvumi, that's when you need a Makaula. That's when you need a Mbata to step up. If football, I will always say this. Football, those two players need to be special players. Those players are the players are responsible for making the team play, for controlling the tempo, for ensuring that the team it has the will to win. For me, I didn't see a will to win. Understand? And it happened Gamazulu again. Remember that goal that scored by Extend, where in the last dying moments of the game, Umbata takes a touch here, relaxer. Can Umbala understand that Umbata understand that in the red zone, he cannot be as comfortable as he was today. And also, he needs to understand that he cannot be dominated by teams that come to Orlando Stadium and allow if you are checking the first 20 minutes of the game, Al Ahly absolutely dominated the ball. Absolutely dominated. They had the game in their hands.
Not necessarily that box entries. So there's different kinds of domination in football. Yeah. There's one where you can have all the ball, but you're not doing anything with it. Pirates were never really under danger today. Yeah. To be genuinely honest, I don't think Pirates were under danger, which is I think it's a graduation from them in the sense that this is a new stage for these players. Pirates, of course, are an incredible, illustrious, historic team. But for these group of players, they haven't been playing at in this level of competition, group stages of CAF competitions, especially with the CAF Champions League. They never really look lost. Even when you describe patches or moments where Al Ahly had the ball, Pirates didn't look like they don't belong here. My disappointment perhaps is that no one scored, and I think that's the greatest disappointment. And I also think that Al Ahly deliberately didn't want to consider goal in the first half, and maybe in the second half as well, and they got their way with that. The thing that they wanted to achieve from this game, they achieved it.
Nkulego, Al Ahly knows how to play this competition. Yeah. And for me, Orlando Pirates still needs to learn. There's something about the football heritage. Orlando Pirates, this is probably their first season in a very long time, Guma group stages. They have to build, they have to crawl Nkulego before they walk, in my opinion. And this, for me, that they didn't lose this game is actually a progression in their season, in my opinion, because last season they didn't even get here. And also, we cannot segregate the fact that the Al Ahly is a very difficult opponent to play with. That's why you don't underestimate what Mamelodi Sundowns has done to them in the last couple of years, coming here in South Africa and beating them 5-0. But this was the question I had, Nkulego, with North Africans, that this has always been a tactic to South African teams, that we want to play them at 3 o'clock because it's hot, they cannot handle the heat. Because of science and technology, I was expecting them to do that. And this credit to the technical team, Al Ahly, Nkulego, because they managed to deal with the heat, they managed to deal with humidity, and this South African tactic that allows them to play during this time. Because for me, the study, they should have done a study, Nkulego, to say, how do we cope playing in South Africa at 3? How do we, because they never had a low block, Nkulego. And for the first time, Al Ahly figure South Africa not implementing a low block. Actually, they had a mid-low block, in my opinion. And for me, credit to them for coming to South Africa and playing and competing with the heat. Because normally you could see maybe in the last 20 minutes of the game, the ENH say pela, but Nkulego, they had unbelievable belief in themselves. They believed they could win the game. And for me, when they come to South Africa, they really come into the country and believe they can win. And for me, in my opinion, it was a very difficult game to watch because obviously there was no goal, but then a very exciting match. Credit to our Orlando Pirates fans for filling up the Orlando Stadium.
Absolutely. Before I let you go, Pesitao, I suppose he does need more time in Al Ahly because he became their more dangerous player. Whatever you think of him, they're not playing him right now at Al Ahly. Maybe they're trying to push him out, but he has the dynamism that they don't have. He has the ability to create something out of nothing that they don't have. And you saw with him that he could have created opportunities for Al Ahly. He created 2 big opportunities with the free kick, and he almost scored with CBC intervening as well. Should Al Ahly keep the faith in Pesitao and stay with him and go to the Club World Cup with him?
Yeah, this is the best team that Upesi will play for in Africa, in my opinion. Even Football Heritage says so. You are guaranteed to win at least a trophy at Al Ahly. The treatment is something that I don't agree with, because obviously the profile of wingers that they like, North Africans, are the ones that cross the ball. In my opinion, it gives them a different variety. This is why they signed Umay. This is why they signed Umkwane. This is why they signed Ufrakli Lake. It's because they need a dynamic and ball-playing forwards who are good on the ball, who can dribble and manage to minus some play. For me, he gives them a different dimension, because when he came on the pitch, you saw a different Al Ahly in terms of being dangerous in their last line of attack.
All right, there you are. Thank you very much to Lindo. We'll come back later on as well. Mamelodi Sundowns are in Morocco, so we'll be covering that game as well. It was 0-0 between Orlando Pirates and Al Ahly. iDiskiTV, this is Times, also spreading.